You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. And then remind you, if you ever have any more finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you, even if you don't have any needs today. Save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we're celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Now, what are we going to celebrate today? Pack your lunch day. Okay. Well, being that half the time I'm working out of a home office, I'm not sure I need to really pack my lunch. Josh, I know, is working out of his home office, probably not packing it. But I know Mitchell, he packs his lunch. I don't know if he's watching today, but National Pack Your Lunch Day today. What else are we celebrating? Blueberry Popover Day? I don't know about popover. I wonder what makes it a popover. It looks like a blueberry muffin to me. Although I did go to a new place, as long as, just the seven of us talking here. New place on Balboa Island. Huskins Coffee. I don't know if you've tried Huskins Coffee. They make a Pop-Tart. Not like the Kellogg's one, but they make a Pop-Tart. It was strawberries and cream. Pretty good. Let's see what else. Today is also National Napping Day. So I guess, I don't know how we would have to get, for those of you that follow it, we'd have to get Mike on here if we wanted to do National Napping Day. The guy from MyPillow. Have you ever seen him? Okay, because I bet they celebrate National Napping Day. Although I must admit, Josh, we should admit this in there. Question of the day: do you nap or don't you? Now you've got little ones there, so you probably don't get to nap. Come 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon after we get started, getting ready for radio, about 4 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning, and about that time, it's good for a nap. So yes, I do indulge in National Napping Day. So if you find that I don't answer the phone about that time, you might just wonder, is it every day is National Napping Day? What else have we got going on right now? 8 hours day? What the heck is that, Josh? 8 hours. I don't know. Festival of Life in Cracks Day. I think that one there, I'm not sure I could go with that one at all for anything. Day in Cracks Day. I
got a bad feeling about this.
Better move right along and check out what's going on in the markets today. Well, maybe we don't want to check out what's going on in the markets today. If you've been watching the markets at all today, you're probably not as excited about them as anybody else is, because the markets have been a bit ugly, I would admit. So we're looking at I know that I have my buzzer on here right now, but I can't find it. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 483 points. The S&P is down 125. The NASDAQ is down 638. And oil down 38 cents.
Ow!
So the markets are not looking good for us right now. But I'll tell you, there is a silver lining. But let's take a look before we get to the silver lining in those markets. Let's take a look. Gasoline, national average, $3.08 a gallon. Yeah, you know it. We are, most of us, we're broadcasting from California. $4.71 a gallon.
Ow!
Thanks, Gavin. And he wants to be the president of the United States. So just think about this. He could do to the whole country what he's done to California. Do you think that's a good idea?
What's the big idea?
Yeah, $4.71. And I think I paid at Costco $4.70 for premium unleaded over the weekend. $4.49, I think, was the cost of regular unleaded. Josh, what are you about? 3.25 there in Nevada? Yeah, think about that. $3.25. And I know there's a couple of refineries in Nevada. I think you've looked that up for us before. But is it worth $1 a gallon, $1.50 a gallon, just to go across state line? Unbelievable. Cheapest gas in the country's $2.63, Mississippi, $2.63. You know something? It is, at least the president should be filling the strategic petroleum reserves that were left empty by the Biden administration, or they were depleted. I shouldn't say they were empty. $66 a gallon. That could be beneficial. That could be helpful to some people. But we're looking at a $500 drop in the Dow. What's causing it? Well, it's kind of timing issues. So a lot of the country, a lot of the world is looking and saying, is the U.S. on verge of a recession? Well, we saw our Commerce Secretary, I think his name is Ludnick, over the weekend said no recession. And we saw the president over the weekend saying, you know, he hates to try and predict these things. That translates into he's expecting a recession. Because if he didn't think there was going to be a recession, he would have said no recession. If he says, I don't want to predict them, yeah, then now here's the irony of that whole scenario is the interview that the president, that was played with the president on Thursday. And this is kind of a foolish one, in my opinion, and I'm right. So the president does this interview for Sunday Morning Futures with Maria Bartiromo. And he did the interview, they recorded the interview on Thursday. Now, it seems odd to me, why in the world would you record an interview the day before you get the biggest economic report of the month came out the following day? Why would you record that on that Thursday? Because they didn't have the data, or else you would have heard some of these questions about it, if they did, that unemployment rose to 4.1%, that the jobs number we missed, they expected 160,000. The actual number was 151,000. You start saying, okay, Ron, that's not a big deal. What's the difference of just a few thousand jobs? Well, if you look at the household survey number, you'll see what the difference is, because the Bureau of Labor Statistics number that I just referenced, and it's the biggest number that everyone looks at, well, that one came in on one side, and on the other side, you see the household survey saying 588,000 jobs lost. Good morning, Danny. I'm glad to have you with us. Okay, so there is a big difference right there. We saw that the U6 number, that's the real number of unemployment, because that measures unemployment and underemployment, jumped from 7.5% to 8%. Big jump right there. So we got a softening market right there. And now, and then, yeah, I forgot this one. Jerome Powell told us on Friday that, you know, the tariffs are not a big deal, and they're just a short-term blip, is the way they put it. So look at the tariffs and weakening job market, and I see that retail sales spending is dropping a little bit. All of these things going on tells us there might be a recession. When we come back, I'm going to tell you the silver lining, all that, and let's see what else we've got. I know we've got a great broadcast lined up for you this morning. Of course, I work with a production group, and of course, I think they're great. Otherwise, I wouldn't have put it out. Should I buy a home right now? Experts say prices are only going up. a guide to negotiating with creditors, and we've got a guide for estate valuation. All that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564. Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less? All without having to spend more each month than you spend right now. Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis. rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments? Paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at RonSiegelRadio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Don't forget the question of the day. Do you nap or don't you? They'll just throw that in there for you. Every day at this time, the Mortgage Minute today, being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call. 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. And every day at this time, OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry. Calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. They do not tell us points paid, points received, or the APR. They only tell us the number you need to put into your mortgage calculator to find out exactly what your principal and interest payment would be. If you don't have a mortgage calculator, shame on you, because we give it to you for free, and we tell you about it every business day morning right here on Ron Siegel Radio, rsrlinks.com/mobile app, rsrlinks.com/mobile app. What did rates do on Friday? Conventional 30-year fix, 6.604. That was down. Jumbo 30-year fix, 6.70. That was down. FHA 30-year fix 6.315. That was down. VA 30-year fix 6.144. That was down. And the USDA 30-year fix 6.377. That was up. Now, you hear us talking about these rates and what they're doing all the time. And the bottom line here is, are they really moving a lot? That's really the question mark. And I'm going to share with you, if I can get this screen right here, is they really haven't been doing a whole heck of a lot lately. If we look at the rates today, and I'm just going based on our friends over at OBMMI. So we look at Friday, 6.604, and we look at Friday, the previous week on Friday, 6.60. So 6.60 to 6.604. So they did some moving around, but at the end of the day, they didn't really move. So just be aware that regardless of what you're hearing, and part of that I'm going to talk about in a minute, because you could be getting some misleading information. We'll talk about that in a minute. But if you want our thoughts on the market each and every business day morning, rsrlinks.com/market minute, rsrlinks.com/market minute. Let's see what the markets are doing today. Here is that silver lining I was talking about in the last segment. So whenever you think about this, when we see the word recession, I know it's an ugly, ugly thought, but it's positive for mortgage rates. Right now, we're looking, the 10-year treasury is at 4.22, down 10 basis points. The mortgage bond is at 101.59. That's up 16. Whenever the bond goes up, rates go down. So as they talk about recession, we're seeing that that's a benefit or a strength when it comes to the world of mortgage rates. So what are we watching out for this week? Well, consumer price index, that's coming out this week, and we're expected to show a headline in between come in between 0.23 and 0.3 based on varying estimates. The replacement from February of last year was a pretty hot 0.4%. They'll make it easier to make progress year over year. Expectations for headline CPI to come in between 2.8 and 2.9. Why do we care? Well, inflation is the enemy of bonds. So we want the inflation to go down so we can get lower interest rates and help more people buy houses. That's the bottom line on that. Now, we did get some commentary from Jerome Powell on Friday. Fed Chair Powell spoke on Friday and sent the bond market lower, as he said that the Fed can be in wait and see mode and be patient on rate cuts. He also said the economy is growing at a solid pace, even though the first quarter GDP estimates from the Atlanta Fed are now negative 2.4%. He expects inflation to reach their 2% goal, but it will be a bumpy path. And on tariffs, Powell explained that they spike prices. It's a one-time thing and would not be appropriate for the Fed to act. So that's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. I'm going to share with you, let's chat a little bit, because there's news in the market that Rocket is acquiring Redfin. And why do I bring that up? Well, Rocket is an online lender. And you know that my belief is, and I'm right, strategy beats rate always. Strategy beats rate always. So why would I say that when we're talking about the concept of this Rocket and Redfin takeover? Well, it's the Walmart of everything. And Walmart is huge. And yes, I do get a delivery from Walmart probably once a week. So it's not that I'm bashing Walmart. They do very, very well at what they do. Nobody competes with them at what they do. Are you going to Walmart for full service? No. But that's fine. You want price. And there are some times when you do want price, and when price is the most important thing. Now, I'm going to tell you, when you're looking at buying a house, when you're looking at selling a house, when you're looking at financing a house, price may not be the most important thing. And why am I saying that? Well, I had a consultation over the weekend with somebody, and they said, Ron, I'm thinking about retiring at the end of the year. And one of the things I look at is say, okay, as a certified liability advisor, it's our job to help people build wealth through strategic debt management. Well, I'm talking to him and I said, let's take a look at where you are on your finances on the liability side. And so there's nothing I can do, Ron. I've got a mortgage at 2.875. Well, that's a great rate. I said, you must have a great lender. I know it was tongue in cheek because I've helped him and his family with loans for many, 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 many years. I said, but you know something? You need to look at the Home Select. We need to look at the Home Select loan from our friends at Geneva Financial. rsrlinks.com/home select. rsrlinks.com/home select. And I look at this as being a pre-retirement strategy. Why is it a pre-retirement strategy? Well, because over time, you end up paying off your loan and having the lowest effective interest rate that I've ever seen. Yes, that I've ever seen. And I've been doing this since a lot of people aren't even born. So we looked at his scenario, and he's got about 25 years left on his mortgage. And I said, well, with the Home Select, we can get that paid off in about 8 years. So why, but do you really want it paid off? Remember, I always talk about this. Everything that we do in the world of finance and investing, be it the asset side of the balance sheet, the liability side of the balance sheet, or the real estate side of the balance sheet. Most people say there's only two sides of the balance sheet, Ron. And I say, no, there's three. Because you've got assets, you got liabilities, and you got real estate. Real estate kind of straddles everything because it's probably your biggest asset and it might be your biggest liability. So why do I say it's a pre-retirement strategy? Well, because as he's paying down this mortgage over the last little bit of his working career, and he'll probably do some other things in retirement, but the loan amount is coming down faster than anything in the market. Oh yeah, the interest rate is higher than anything in the market, but the effective rate, when we looked at it, his effective rate was like 1.76. Now, we look at everything through the lens of safety. Okay, it's an FDIC insured product. You've got it collateralized. Liquidity. You get to keep the liquidity. You have access to your home equity if you need it, when you need it. More importantly, when you want it, because you're going to take money from retirement funds strategically now. Once you stop working, you're not in the wealth accumulation phase. And I'm going to submit that all you're dealing with is cash flow, liquidity. Can you afford to do the things you want to do for the remaining years of your life? So the Home Select offers that liquidity. So we've got safety, liquidity, and return. So the return is, think about this. Instead of paying off his loan on that 2.875 in 25 years that he has remaining, we can do it through this strategy with a loan that's probably right around 8.5% APR. And as interest rates come down, the interest on the loan comes down, and he ends up paying off the loan in about 8 years because of the way the loan is structured. Now, most people have no clue how this works, and it takes time to educate. That's why you go to rsrlinks.com/home select, rsrlinks.com/home select. And we've done quite a few radio shows on this. We put them all on a dashboard. We put frequently asked questions on the dashboard. We put case studies on the dashboard. And it's all available right there for you to look at from the quiet of your own living room. rsrlinks.com/home select. And we also put on there a link for you to schedule an appointment, and then we can chat about if this is right for you. Is it right for you? I don't know. I don't even know if you qualify. But I know education is never bad. rsrlinks.com/home select. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, should I buy a home right now? Experts say prices are only going up. We've got the homeowner's guide to negotiating with creditors. And we also put together a guide to estate valuation. All that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We will be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments? Paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at ronsiegelradio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
Do you own a luxury home or planning to purchase one? If so, your home may be your largest asset, but your mortgage may also be your largest debt. The Siegel Lending Team is offering amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates in the 3%, and 15-year rates in the 2s. Learn more at ronsiegelradio.com or call me directly. My number is 800-306-1990, licensed under NMLS 217037. Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Should I buy a home right now? Experts say prices are only going up. At one point or another, you've probably heard someone say yesterday was the best time to buy a home, but the next best time is today. That's because nationally, home values continue to rise, and with mortgage rates still stubbornly high and home prices going up, you may be only holding out for prices to fall or trying to time the market for that perfect rate. But here's the truth. Waiting for the right moment could cost you in the long run. Home prices are still rising, just at a more normal pace. The idea that prices will drop dramatically is wishful thinking in most markets. According to the Home Price Expectation Survey from Fannie Mae, industry analysts are saying prices are projected to keep rising through at least 2029. While we're no longer seeing the steep spikes of previous years, experts project a steady and sustainable increase of around 3 to 4 nationally. And the good news is this is much more normal pace, a welcome sign for hopeful buyers. If you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 or FM 98.1 video feed, you are seeing a chart. Home prices continuing to rise. What this means for you, it's tempting to wait out for prices or mortgage rates to decline before you buy. Here's what you'll need to consider if you do that. Tomorrow's home prices will be higher than today's. The longer you wait, the more that purchase price will go up. Waiting for the perfect mortgage rate or a price drop may backfire. Even if rates dip slightly, home prices could still make waiting more expensive overall. Buying now means building equity sooner. Home values are rising, which means your investment starts growing as soon as you buy. Let's put real numbers into this equation. If you purchase a $400,000 home today based on these price forecasts, it's expected to go up in value by more than $83,000 over the next 5 years. That's some serious money back in your pocket instead of being left on the sidelines. Again, checking out the chart. $83,251 potential growth in household wealth over the next 5 years, based solely on increased home equity if you purchase a $400,000 home in January of 2025. Remember, these are national numbers. In Southern California, they may be even higher. Why aren't prices dropping? It's all about supply and demand. Even though there are more homes for sale right now than there were at this time last year, or even last month, there still aren't enough of them on the market for all buyers who want to purchase them. And that puts continued upward pressure on prices. As Redfin puts it, quote, prices will rise at a pace similar to that of the second half of 2024 because we don't expect there to be enough new inventory to meet demand, unquote. While every market is different, most areas will continue to see moderate price growth. Some say level off a bit, but a major national drop, not likely. Bottom line, time in the market beats timing the market. If you're debating whether to buy now or wait, remember this. Real estate rewards those who get in the market, not those who try to time it perfectly. Yes, today's housing market has its challenges, but there are always ways to make it work. Exploring different neighborhoods, considering smaller condos or townhomes, asking your lender about alternative financing, or tapping into down payment assistance programs. The key is making a move when it makes sense for you rather than waiting for a perfect scenario that may never arrive. Want to take a look at what's happening with prices in our local market, whether you're ready to buy now or just exploring your options? Having a plan in place can set you up for success. That's the real-time real estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com. rsrmoney.com. And I'm going to tell you, we've said it many times, get into the market, get into the game. It's a great place to be to try and build wealth, especially if you're a young person, right? Because you've got time. And if you remember my conversation, it's 5. The whole issue is 5. If you can get to 5 houses that you step up 5 times, you're going to have a real nice house. And you do this every 3 to 5 years. So 5 houses, 5 years, 25 years. You're going to be on a path to a very, very, very easy and successful retirement. So let's just think about that part right there. Wouldn't steer you wrong on this one. Let's take for those folks that are still battling with debts, and we know there's a lot of you. We've got a Borrow Smart segment brought to you by rsrlinks.com/home select. rsrlinks.com/home select. We want to empower you, our listeners, to achieve your financial goals, whether you're a first-time home buyer, a seasoned homeowner, or planning for retirement. We've got you covered. Today, we're tackling a topic that can bring stress and anxiety to many: debt. But I'm here to tell you, you're not alone, and there are strategies to regain control. Have you ever felt that weight of debt on your shoulders? Maybe you're facing a mountain of credit card bills, medical expenses, or other financial obligations, It can be overwhelming, and you might feel like you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. You might be worried about creditors taking legal action, or maybe you're already dealing with calls from debt collection agencies. But here's the good news. You have options. You have rights. And one of the most powerful tools at your disposal is negotiating with your creditors. That's right. You can often work with your creditors to find solutions that make your debt more manageable. Now, why should you negotiate with your creditors? There are several key benefits. First and foremost, it can prevent creditors from taking more drastic actions like pursuing lawsuits. Nobody wants that hanging over their head. Negotiating allows you to find a solution that works for both you and your creditor. It's about finding that middle ground. More importantly, negotiating can lead to a more manageable repayment plan. This can significantly reduce financial strain, giving you the breathing room you need to stabilize your overall financial situation. In some cases, creditors might even agree to reduce the total amount you owe, especially if you can pay a lump sum. Ultimately, negotiating with creditors can be a game changer, can help prevent further damage to your credit score and pave the way for rebuilding your financial health. It's about taking that first step toward a brighter financial future. Now, I know negotiating with creditors can seem intimidating. It's natural to feel a bit unsure and anxious. But with the right approach, the right knowledge, you can be successful. So let's dive into some strategies that can empower you throughout this process. Number one, determine if your negotiation is the right move for you. Before jumping into negotiations, take a step back and look at your overall financial picture. Is it better for you to try and pay off your debt as quickly as possible, or would you benefit from negotiating a more manageable payment schedule or even a lower payment amount? If your debt has already been turned over to a collection agency, keep in mind that they are not obligated to agree to a payment plan, but it does not hurt to ask. Number two, make sure the debt is actually yours. This might seem obvious, but it's crucial. Validate the debt. Mistakes happen, and unfortunately, so does fraud. It's possible the debt isn't even yours, so take the time to verify it. Request a debt validation letter from the debt collector. This letter will provide proof that the debt is legitimate. While you're validating the debt, also check to see if it falls within the statute of limitations. If it's outside that period, collectors cannot legally pursue you for it. Number three, don't negotiate without knowing what you can realistically afford. If you decide that settling the debt is the best option, you need to determine what you can realistically afford to pay. Take a hard look at your budget. What are your essential expenses and what can you cut back on? Go into negotiations with a firm number in mind. Remember, lump sum settlements are often less expensive overall than long-term monthly repayment plans. Number four, understand your rights. Knowledge is power. The Federal Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, FDCPA, protects you from certain actions by creditors and debt collectors. They are not allowed to harass you or abuse you, which includes threats, obscene language, or repeated phone calls. They can't deceive you about the amount you owe or any potential legal consequences of not paying. They can't contact you at inconvenient times, like before 8 a.m. or after 9 p.m., and they can't contact you at work if you've asked them not to. Finally, they cannot discuss your debt with anyone else, like your friends or family, without your permission, and they can't take unfair legal actions against you without following the proper procedures. You also have the right to information about your debt, such as the original creditor's name and the amount you owe. Knowing these rights will help you protect yourself throughout the negotiation process. Number five, keep your story straight. It's common to fall behind on debt due to difficult life circumstances. However, remember that the people you're speaking with at credit collection agencies or lenders are employees doing their job. They're not counselors. Provide a concise explanation of why you haven't been able to pay your debt as agreed, and avoid getting overly emotional or dramatic. If you're in a tough situation, make that clear and explain what you're doing to get back on track. It can be helpful to write down a few key sentences to rehearse before you talk with your creditor. This can help you stay focused, avoid being overly emotional, and ensure you're able to clearly discuss the details and assert your rights. And most importantly, always tell the truth. Number six, ask questions. Don't hesitate to ask questions. Unfortunately, or understanding The specifics of your debt is essential for effective negotiation. You have the right to know where the debt originated, how the total amount was calculated, and what fees are included. Ask about the origin of the debt, whether it's from credit cards, medical bills, or personal loans. Ask for a breakdown of the total amount owed, including any interest, late fees, or other charges. The more you understand about your debt, the better equipped you'll be to tailor your negotiation strategy. Number 7, take detailed notes. Conversations about debt can be stressful or overwhelming, so keep a pen and paper handy to take notes during every communication with a debt collector. Write down the full name of the person you spoke with, the time of the call, how long it lasted, and what you discussed. Also, make sure to document any instances of inappropriate behavior, as this creates a written record of potentially illegal collection practices. Number 8, read and save your mail. Don't let important financial documents get lost in the shuffle. Be careful. Be carefully reviewing your mail. You can stay informed about your debt situation, identify potential opportunities for negotiation. When you receive a bill or notice from a creditor, read it carefully. Pay attention to deadlines, interest rates, and late fees. Saving your mail is also a valuable tool in the negotiation process. Keeping a record of your correspondence with creditors allows you to reference specific details such as previous payment arrangements or promises made by the creditor. This documentation can be helpful if you need to dispute charges or escalate a dispute to a credit bureau or a consumer protection agency. Number 9, talk to creditors, not just collection agencies. If possible, try to negotiate with your original creditor before they sell your debt to a collection agency. Dealing with the original creditor might help you preserve your credit score. Your original creditor may also have programs to assist you in getting back on track with your payments. Number 10, get any agreement in writing. This is absolutely crucial. Get any settlement or repayment plan in writing as soon as negotiations are complete. Do not make any payments until you have the agreement in writing. If you pay before receiving written confirmation, you could run into problems later. Unfortunately, some consumers end up being pursued for the same debt twice. Number 11, stay friendly and professional. Debt is a sensitive topic, and it's easy to get emotional. It's easy to get emotional when you're dealing with creditors and debt collectors. However, try to remain friendly and stay focused on the issue at hand. Remember that debt collectors cannot come into your home and harass you, and they cannot take away the resources you need for basic living. If they make such threats, end the conversation and report them instead of getting into a heated argument. Number 12, put the past behind you and focus on the future. Once you've settled a debt, try to move forward with a positive outlook. Continue to make your other payments on time to avoid falling into the same situation again. Keep a close eye on your credit reports to ensure that old debts don't reappear as new collection accounts, and make sure to save all records of your debt settlement so you can prove that you no longer owe the money. Now, they might have some questions, so let's address a couple of frequently asked. What percentage should you offer to settle a debt? No magic number. It depends on several key factors, including the type of debt, your financial situation, and the creditor's willingness to negotiate. A common starting point is to offer 50% of the amount owed, but you might need to offer more or less depending on specific circumstances. Does negotiating with creditors actually work? Yes, it absolutely can. Many people have successfully negotiated with their creditors, demonstrating a genuine willingness to pay and providing a clear explanation of your financial situation can significantly increase your chances of a successful negotiation. What's the lowest a creditor might settle for? Tricky question. The answer, it depends. Some creditors might be willing to accept a very low settlement, especially if they believe they won't be able to collect in full amount through other means. However, every creditor has different strategies and policies, so there's no one size fits all. Should you say to creditors, what should you say to creditors to settle a debt? When you're negotiating, it's important to be polite, respectful, and assertive. Clearly state that you intend to settle the debt and honestly explain your financial situation. Offer a specific settlement amount and propose payment plan if necessary. Be prepared to listen to the creditor's counteroffer and be willing to compromise. Remember, a successful negotiation usually involves give and take from both sides. Negotiating with creditors can be a very effective way to regain control of your finances by taking the initiative to negotiate you can potentially reduce debt, improve your credit score, and relieve financial stress. It's about empowering yourself to take charge. And as a certified financial liability advisor, I help families build wealth through strategic debt management. If you're feeling overwhelmed by debt and don't know where to start, I can help you navigate this process. Remember, you don't have to face this alone. That is the Borrow Smart segment brought to you by rsrlinks.com/home select, rsrlinks.com/home select. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, a homeowner's guide to estate valuation and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments? Paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at ronsiegelradio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the First Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome to radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Borrow Smart segment brought to you by rsrlinks.com/home select. rsrlinks.com/home select. Unlocking your legacy, a homeowner's guide to estate valuation. This is the show that's all about building a stronger financial future for you and your family. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, a long-time homeowner, or planning for retirement, understanding your financial picture is key. And a big part of that is something that might seem a little daunting. Estate valuation. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Estate planning? That's for the super rich, right? Well, let me tell you, that couldn't be further from the truth. If you own a home, if you have any assets at all, understanding the value of your estate is a critical step in securing your family's future. It's not just about what you have today. It's about your legacy you're building. Think of your estate as the sum total of everything you own. It's your home, your investments, your savings, all the things you've worked so hard for. And knowing its value is the foundation for solid estate planning, which in turn is a cornerstone of sound financial management. So how do you actually do it? It might sound complicated, but it can be broken down into manageable steps. Today, we're going to talk through the key steps of valuing your estate. Step number 1, setting the date. First thing you do is pick a date for your valuation. Now, this might seem simple, but it's important because, as we all know, the values fluctuate. Think about real estate market. It goes up, it goes down. The stock market, same thing. So you need a snapshot in time. If you're doing this for your own planning purposes and you're alive and well, you can choose any date you like. Maybe it's the end of the year. Maybe it's your birthday. Whatever works for you. However, if you're valuing an estate because someone has passed away, the rules are a little different. In that case, you generally have 2 choices: the date of death or a date 6 months after their death. That's called the alternate valuation date. Why the alternate date? Well, it's there to provide some flexibility, especially if the estate's value changes significantly in those first 6 months. But remember, if you choose that alternate date, any assets that were sold or distributed during the 6-month period may have to be valued as of the date they were sold or distributed. It's important to keep accurate records. Number 2, inventory of assets. All right. Step 2 is where you make a comprehensive list of everything that's included in the estate. And I mean everything. This should include anything that an individual owns or has ownership interest in. Think about it. Home, of course, and any other real estate you own. Bank accounts, checking, savings, CDs, your investments, stocks, bonds, mutual funds. Retirement accounts, IRAs, 401ks, vehicles, cars, boats, RVs, personal property, jewelry, art, furniture. It might seem overwhelming. But it's crucial to be thorough. You don't want to leave anything out. And here's a key point, especially for my married listeners. How assets are owned makes a big difference. If an account is owned individually, the entire value is included in the estate. But if it's owned jointly with a spouse who has what's called rights of survivorship, then typically only 50% of the value is included. This is a big one, folks. So make sure you understand how your assets are titled also. Don't forget life insurance. If the policy owner is the deceased individual, the beneficiary is the decedent's estate, then it is included. Step 3, gathering financial statements. Once you've made that list, you need to back it up with documentation. That means gathering all your financial statements as of the date of calculation you choose in step 1. Think about it. Bank statements, investment account statements, mortgage statements, property tax bills, vehicle registration and valuation documents. The more organized you are, the smoother this process will be. And remember, for things like your home, you'll want to get an accurate valuation. This might mean getting an appraisal from a qualified professional. Speaking of mortgages, here's something important for homeowners. You need to deduct any outstanding mortgage balance from the value of your property. So if your home is worth $500,000, but you owe $200,000, the value included in your estate would be $300,000. Number 4, calculating deductions. Almost there. Final step is to calculate any deductions. This means subtracting any debts from the total value of your assets. For someone who has passed away, this might include things like outstanding bills, utilities, medical expenses, etc., funeral costs, taxes owed, charitable gifts they intended to make. For those of you planning ahead, think about your own debts, mortgage balances, car loans, credit card debt, personal loans. This is where things get really interesting and where my expertise as a certified liability advisor, or CLA, comes in. Strategic debt management is absolutely crucial in maximizing the value of your estate. Think about it. The less debt you have, the more value you pass on to your loved ones. It's that simple. As a CLA, I specialize in helping families like yours develop strategies to reduce debt, build wealth, and create a lasting legacy. The importance of professional guidance. Now I've given you the basic framework here, but I want you to be very clear. Valuing an estate can be complex, especially when you're dealing with the emotional weight of settling a loved one's affairs. That's why I always recommend consulting a professional who has expertise in estate planning. This could be an estate attorney, a financial advisor, or, of course, a certified liability advisor like myself. We can help you navigate the intricacies of the process, ensure you're not missing anything, and develop a plan tailored to your specific situation. Here's where it all comes together, folks. Understanding the value of your estate is not just a one-time exercise. It's an ongoing process that's deeply intertwined with your overall financial health, and a key part of that financial health is how you manage your debt. So if you're a homeowner or a first-time home buyer and you're serious about building wealth and securing your family's future, I encourage you to take that first step, understanding the value of your estate. And if you're ready to take control of your debt and build a stronger financial legacy, I'm here to help. I'm a certified liability advisor, and I specialize in helping families build wealth through strategic debt management. Don't wait. Take that proactive step for your financial future. Remember, your financial future is in your hands, and made with the right knowledge and guidance, you can achieve your goals and build a lasting legacy. And as always, I ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean who are engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And remember, make a lot of money so you help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.